back to a perception of reality that is based on love. Sometimes people think that calling on God means inviting a force into our lives which will make everything rosy. The truth is, it means inviting everything into our lives which will force us to grow, and growth can be messy. In order to ensure our progress toward the goal of enlightenment, the Holy Spirit has a highly individualized curriculum for everyone. Every encounter, every circumstance can be used by Him for His purposes. God means love, and will means thought. That which is real is only that which stems from loving thought, and neither the Holocaust nor AIDS arose from loving thought. Both of them, rather, are products of fear. When we invite the Holy Spirit into these situations, however, He uses them as reasons and opportunities for us to grow into the very level of deep love through which they are eradicated from the earth. If we had been in that loving space to begin with, these manifestations of darkness would never have occurred. If we really desire a moral answer to the Holocaust, we do everything in our power to create a world in which it could never happen again. As any thinking person knows, Hitler did not act alone. He could never have done what he did without the help of thousands of people who, although they did not share his evil vision, did not have the moral fiber to say no to it. What would the Holy Spirit have us do now? Although we cannot guarantee that a Hitler will never again be born, we can in fact create a world in which, even if a Hitler appeared, there would be so much love that no one would listen or conspire with him. Everything we do in our lives will be used or interpreted by the ego or by the Holy Spirit. The ego uses everything to lead us further into anxiety. The Holy Spirit uses everything to lead us back to inner peace. There are people who have lived on the earth, and perhaps there are people living here now, whose minds have been completely healed by the Holy Spirit. In all religions there are stories of saints or prophets who worked miracles. That is because when the mind returns to love, it becomes a vessel for God's power. The power of God transcends the laws of this world. Saints and prophets have fully actualized the love of God within them. They have been purified of all fearful thoughts, and only love remains within their minds. These purified beings are called the enlightened ones. Enlightened beings, Jesus and others, exist in a state which is only potential in the rest of us. The Christ mind is merely the perspective of unconditional love. You and I have the Christ or perfectly loving mind in us as much as Jesus does. The difference between Him and us is that we are tempted to deny it. Jesus and other enlightened masters are our evolutionary elder brothers. According to the laws of evolution, a species develops in a certain direction until that development is no longer well adapted for survival. At that point, a mutation occurs. A thoroughly loving person is like an evolutionary mutation, manifesting a beingness which puts love first and thus creates the context in which miracles occur. The mutation, the enlightened ones, show the rest of us our evolutionary potential. They point the way. Sometimes people claim they don't need a crutch like Jesus, but He's not a crutch, He's a teacher. If you want to be a writer, you read the classics. If you want to make great music, you listen to music that's been made by great musicians who have gone before. If you're studying to be a painter, it's a good idea to study the great masters. If Picasso came into your room while you were learning to draw and said, "Hi, I have a couple of hours, would you like some hints?" would you say no? So it is with spiritual masters, Jesus, Buddha, or any other enlightened being. They are geniuses in the way they used their minds and hearts, just as Beethoven was a genius with music, or Shakespeare a genius with words. Why not learn from them? Follow their lead. Study what they were doing right. A Course in Miracles does not push Jesus on anyone. Although these books came from him, it's very clear that you can be an advanced student of the Course and not relate personally to him at all. A Course in Miracles understands our resistances, but it doesn't cater to them. It is time for a huge revolution in our understanding of Christic philosophy, and most particularly in our understanding of Jesus. The Christian religion has no monopoly on Christ or on Jesus himself. In every generation, we must rediscover truth for ourselves. Who is Jesus? He is a personal symbol of the Holy Spirit. Having been totally healed by the Holy Spirit, he has become one with him. He is definitely a top-of-the-mountain experience, but that's not to say he's the only one up there. He lived within this world of fear and perceived only love. Every action, every word, every thought was guided by the Holy Spirit instead of the ego. Jesus was a thoroughly purified being. To think about him is to think about, and so to call forth, the perfect love inside ourselves. He is not an idol. He is an elder brother. He is a gift. Us and protect